Hello, you guys. Hello. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Dana Ray here, and today I am back with another video. It is November 9th. It is 5 p.m. where I am at, and we back with another word from the Lord. Welcome to everyone who is new, and welcome back to everyone who is an OG. All right. So today, this word is going to come from a dream. And it's a three-part word. It's going to come from a dream and some other things that the Lord has been showing me here recently. I want to first off say thank you guys for your encouragement. Thank you to you guys who sent emails. Thank you to you guys who are keeping me in prayer. If you know the Lord and you praying to Him. If you're praying to anybody else, keep it to yourself. But I really appreciate it. You guys that have encouraged me to keep going, and yes, to just keep being obedient to God, because it is helping someone, and because the word is for somebody. So I really appreciate you guys in the comments. I really appreciate all of your emails, and I really appreciate you guys' support, because as you can see, it is not easy. I am in a uber good mood today, y'all, because God is just good, and I'm just glad to be here. Glad to be back in my, regular spot. I ain't got my little plant. Y'all know I gotta have my little plant in every little picture, in every little video. I gotta get my plant. So there go my little plant. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. So anyway, the title of this word is going to be called "It's Homecoming, Y'all. Journey into your land. Wait for the rain." All right. So this dream that I'm going to share, this is the first part of the word. I'm going to share this dream, and I had this dream, I think maybe on either 10/29 or 10/30. So either October 29th or October 30th. I'm not sure. I didn't write the date down. But anyway, so first of all, this same morning that I had this dream, I woke up before I had the dream to what sounded like a knock, but it wasn't a knock. So then I went to sleep, and then went back to sleep, and then I had this dream. I was in a hotel room, in a big hotel of some sort, kind of like one in Vegas. It was October, and I think we were in Chicago. Weird. I don't know. I'm just telling you guys what the word says. I must have been asleep. And Thomas is like my first real boyfriend. And Thomas had knocked on my door, but I didn't wake up. And I feel like I knew it was him. I knew it was him though, and I was expecting him. He was going to take me to an adult prom or reunion with old college classmates. When he went away from the door, I then went downstairs looking for him. It just seemed like we were missing each other. So he went back up to my room door, and as he was walking away, I saw him, and we hugged, and we were crying. I remember him saying, "I don't know how this is going to work, but I'ma make it work." Then we were looking for the floor where the prom was, but couldn't find it. Then it seems that he took the stairs down, and I was on the elevator, but again wondering what floor to get off on. The prom ended at midnight, and it was like 9:45, and I said, "We still have time to get there and dance for 2 hours and then leave." At some point, it had begun to snow in Chicago. There was also some point where we were walking and hugged up, and we walked past some girl who used to like him or deal with him in some way. And she said something slick and looked at us. But I ain't want no smoke. That's what I wrote. But I ain't want no smoke. So I walked by. But then when we were trying to order our food or something, and she either approached me crazy or pushed me, and I intentionally elbowed her in the face and knocked her on the ground. Then that was it for her. And I wrote LOL. So after I had this dream, I had asked the Lord, I said, "Does Thomas represent my husband in this dream? I know that's the best relationship I feel like I've ever had. So are you using him or that relationship to depict the kind of relationship my husband and I will have? Or is there a soul tie with Thomas that needs to be broken? I don't know. It seems like a different Thomas and a different feel than the other dreams that I've had with or about him. So when I had that dream, I was a little bit confused because I'm like, why are you using my ex-boyfriend in this dream? But God, I don't get to tell God who he uses. So then when I looked up Thomas's name, because I've had a lot of dreams about him, he is not my spouse. Absolutely not. I don't know why God used, but I do. So I actually finally looked up his name, and his name means twin. Remember in a few videos ago, I told you guys that the Lord is birthing we're having multiple births in this season. So the Lord has told some of you guys that you're going to have actual twins, and for a lot of us it means that you're going to be birthing multiple things at one time. So I knew that the dream and Thomas did not represent any soul tie. It was clear then, and I was like, okay. So in this dream, let me explain it a little bit. From what I feel like the Lord is trying to say through this dream. So this is where I got the word homecoming from. It's homecoming, y'all. And I had this dream at the end of October. October, this season right now, and most of October is homecoming season. And even in this dream, I can't even talk, that we were having a reunion with old college classmates, an adult prom or a reunion with old college classmates. That would be a homecoming. All right. The verification for this word, after I had this dream, I then saw on Instagram this girl who was in Vegas, and she was like, this looks like a prom picture. She had taken a picture with her husband, and she was like, this looks like a prom picture. And I was like, okay, God, I know you're talking about something. I don't know what Vegas means for whoever this word is for. I don't know what Chicago means for whoever this word is for, but take it to the Lord and let him clarify what more he means for you. The scripture, is there a scripture? I don't think there is even a scripture for this part, but it's homecoming. Homecoming. These men, these women, these prodigals are coming back to God right now. This is the season that this is homecoming season, okay? I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. We will not always see what God is doing in the heart of someone. We will see the result. God is working behind the scenes. He's been working behind the scenes. If you don't feel the shift in the spirit, if you don't feel that this is a new season, then baby, you need to get in your closet with God, because it is homecoming. It's homecoming, y'all. It's homecoming, y'all. So, y'all, I hope y'all get ready, get excited. God is not playing. All right. So, the second part of the title is Journey into Your Land. Journey into your land. This part of the word comes from a couple scriptures that the Lord had me read. He had me see journey. And actually, I just remember that I was supposed to look up contend and what contend means. So let's see. All right, so let me go ahead and read this scripture. This scripture is from Deuteronomy 2:24. It says, "Rise ye up, take your journey. Behold, I have given into thine hand Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it and contend with him in battle." Okay? God says contend. God said, so he told us before to rest. He told us before that we did not have to fight. But now, as we are walking into this new land that the Lord is giving into our hands, God is saying contend. That means do not let the enemy take anything out of your hands. That means do not be weak. That means be bold and stand for what is yours. God, the enemy is fighting. He wants you to give up. He wants to take and steal your promise, and you better have a grip on that thing, and you better let the enemy know, I'm not playing with you. You can go steal somebody else's promise, but mine's, baby, you not finna be able to take. And that reminds me, this scripture also kind of goes with that dream. There was a girl who had been involved with Thomas, and let's just say Thomas was representing my husband in this dream, who had been involved with him before, okay? And she tried something slick. And the first time I let it go. I was like, okay. The second time she got elbowed. Do not let nobody come up here and punk you. We are Christians. We love the Lord, but God said lion and lamb. Lion and lamb. Sometimes you got to be a lion because people going to try to come and play with you. They're going to try to play you when you get with your spouse. They're going to try to play you when you get in your marriage. You better be ready to contend for your promise. Don't let people think that they can just say whatever. There are some things that the Lord is going to fight your battle for. That leads into my other scripture. Ye shall not, Deuteronomy 3 and 22. Ye shall not fear them, for the Lord your God shall fight for you. There are some things that the Lord is going to be like, be quiet, I'm going to handle it. There are other things that you better let people know that this is your position. God got you here. No matter if it looks like it happened overnight, you know everything that you went through to contend and be living in this promise that we have waited forever for. Don't let nobody come up in here and be punking you and you be crying and all this stuff. You already know you're going to have haters. You already know you're going to have people who don't think you deserve the position that you are in. You already know that some girls from the past, some men from the past going to come and try you. Be ready. I'm not saying do not sin, but be ready. Don't be just lambing it out. You better let that lion roar and let people know, oh, I earned this. And I'm going to stand firm in my position. Do not let the enemy come and punk you out of your promise. Sis got elbowed because she tried. So the first time she tried, I don't play. I don't play. I'm nice, but I don't play. All right. So that is the second part. Let's see what else is. Was that all, Lord, for the second part? Yes, I think that is all for the second part. All right, the third part of this dream, of this word, is titled. Where is it at? Where is it at? Third part is titled. Wait for the rain. Wait for the rain. So the scriptures that come with this are Job 29 and 30 and 1 Kings 18 and 41 through 46. So I'm going to read Job 29 and 30. God has been showing me this scripture, just this specific scripture. And sometimes the Lord will have me read around it because the context may mean something, or sometimes he just may be pointing to these specific words. So you have to understand when people say they're taking the word out of context, there's no such thing when you're a prophet. There is no such thing when the Lord is revealing something to you. No. Okay. So sometimes if I read a scripture and it has nothing to do with what the scripture, like the context, that means that God has revealed something else to me. Okay. And that means that I have to do what he says and I have to be open to what he is speaking to me at the time. So this scripture, like I said, it is Job 29 and 23. I don't know why I said 29 and 30. It's Job 29 and 23. Sorry. And it says, they waited for me as for showers and drank in my words as the spring rain. They waited for me as for showers. And the King James Version says, and they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. The part that the Lord had sticking out to me is they waited for me. They waited for me. They waited for the latter rain. I have already told you guys before, we talked about that scripture in previous words about the latter rain, your latter being greater than your former. What you are walking into now is going to be better than anything that you have ever experienced before. Wait for the latter rain. Right now, it's people giving up on promises left and right. It's people forfeiting their promise because they tired of waiting. They just want somebody new, and they talking about God sent them somebody new. No, you just got tired, and the Lord sent you not the Lord. Let me get that out. The enemy sent you a good looking counterfeit. That's what happened. So y'all, wait for the rain. Wait for the promise that God has given you. Wait. There's nothing that's going to fulfill what God said except for the promise that he said. No Ishmael can be Isaac. I don't care what you do, and I don't care how you try to convince yourself. Wait for the rain. The next set of scriptures here, 1 Kings 18 and 41 through 46. And it says, "And Elijah said to Ahab, 'Go, eat and drink, for there is a sound of a heavy rain.' So Ahab went off to eat and drink. But Elijah climbed to the top of Carmel, bent down to the ground, and put his face between his knees. 'Go and look toward the sea,' he told his servant. And he went up and looked. 'There is nothing there,' he said. 7 times Elijah said, 'Go back.'" God has had me see 7,777 today. There is something about the number 7. He even had me listen to a word from my girl Kendra Shanae earlier. It's an old word, but she was talking about how they walked around that Jericho wall 7 times. And on the 7th time, the Lord said, "Shout," and the walls came down. There is something specific and special about 7 in this season. All right. Let me continue with the word. It says, "And the 7th time the servant reported, a cloud as small as a man's hand is rising from the sea. So Elijah said, 'Go and tell Ahab, hitch up your chariot and go down before the rain stops you.' Meanwhile, the sky grew black with clouds, and the wind rose, and a heavy rain started falling, and Ahab rode off to Jezreel. The power of the Lord came on Elijah, and tucking his cloak into his belt, he ran ahead of Ahab all the way to Jezreel." He ran ahead of Ahab all the way to Jezreel. He saw a cloud the size of a man's hand. Do you know how small a cloud the size of your hand would look in the sky? Some of us are looking for a big sign, and God has shown you the small cloud. That cloud means that suddenly it is about to rain. Suddenly. You have waited. Ahab got a head start, and the Spirit of the Lord caused Elijah to run ahead of him. Everybody who looks like they are in front of you, who looks like they have beat you, what God has for you will cause you, baby, you're going to catch up with them and pass them. His process is not the same as the world says. You're going to be put in places, in jobs, in positions, in marriages that people have worked their lives for years and years, and God is going to do it for you in a day. Wait for the rain. Wait for the rain. Y'all, God says suddenly. He says suddenly. People are not going to understand it. People are not going to know how or why. Some of them are going to be jealous, and some of them are going to want to know, who is your God? Wait on the promise that God has for you. There is nothing worth forfeiting the promise that God has for you. God does not lie. If he said it, it is here. I think that's it, y'all. I think that's it. Thank you guys. I'll be back whenever the Lord sends me back. I have a couple of words that I know that I need to release. It's just a matter of when God is going to tell me to release that. But you guys, be encouraged. This is a time of joy. This is a time of excitement. Do not get caught up with what is happening around you. God has said, in the time where we are being elevated, there is also going to be a time of judgment. Remember, I told you guys before, there will be 2 things happening at one time. time. Those who are wicked will be being judged, and those who have waited will be being elevated. Okay? Do not be distracted by the things that are going on in this world, by the things that are trying to get your attention, because the enemy wants you to not be relaxed, to not be to not be in rest. He wants you to allow him to steal things from you because you scared, because you over here wanting to be a lamb, when God says, no, right now it's time to be a lion. I told you to rest before, but right now I need you to fight. Be keen to God. Listen, he will let you know when to fight, when to contend, and when to rest. Don't get caught up, like the girl said today in the video that I was listening to by Kendria Shanae. Don't get caught up because in the past he told you to be silent, and then now he's telling you to speak. Don't get caught up on the instructions for the last season and miss what it is you're supposed to be doing in this season. That's why it's important to have your own relationship with God, because he may be telling you something different than what it seems like he's telling other people. Know God for yourself. Get in your word. Stay focused. Do not give up on your promise. Wait for the rain, because the rain is here. See you guys next time. Bye. I realized that I looked up the definition for contend and I never said it. So contend means to struggle in opposition, and to struggle in rivalry or battle. Yes, so that's what contend means. And that means right now, for some people, when you walk into your promise, read this. If you contend with someone for something such as power, you compete with them to try to get it. Remember, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We are fighting the enemy. When you walk into this land, when you take this journey into this land and you get there, because a lot of us have been in seasons of rest. When you get into the land, it's going to be time to contend, okay? Rest is over a little bit. You're going to have some spurts of rest in there. But bruh, when we walk into these promises, don't be surprised now by some things that you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight for some stuff. You're going to have to fight through some stuff. And you're going to have to, it ain't going to feel good the whole time. The enemy wants you to be exhausted. He wants to TKO you soon as you get into your promise. Baby, we ain't done all this to get here now and be TKO'd in the first round. Absolutely. Contend with the enemy. That's why it's important to be resting now, to be doing what God is telling you now, because when you get into that promise, you are going to have to fight the enemy. Okay? Sometimes fighting means to just not allow him to lie to you, not agree with his lies. It's not always exhausting. It's not always warfare. It's just literally like there's a fight in the mind. He done convinced people that the person they were standing for ain't their spouse no more. Like, y'all. Anyway, contend, okay? You finna have to fight. We lions right now. Put that lamb to the side for some stuff. And yeah, do what you got to do. See y'all next time. Bye.